You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. So we are into the autumn season, and I think autumn is underplayed. I think it's one of the best times to be putting new plants in the ground. And here's the reason why. First of all, you get more plant for your money. Either you get this shift between summer and fall and winter plants, so you can get them at a discount or on sale or at a reduced or multiple price. So the summer plants especially, and there's nothing wrong with planting those, just they're past their prime. Crepe myrtles. They've been blooming for 2 months now. They've been glorious. And now they're starting to not bloom as much. They have their little bean pods that they kind of throw on there and they've lost their glory. Well, we don't want those. We don't winter those over. I'd rather have you take them. Get them out of here. We've got fall plants coming in. So the grasses and the amber maples, there's all these huge mums. There's all these different flowers and plants coming in that are in their peak during the autumn season. So you can buy them at a value price. That's good, the previous season. And then the plants that are coming in, let's say a peak season, you've got a smoke bush or let's say a Rose of Sharon or different evergreens, maples, aspens, they're coming in and they're bigger than they were in the spring. So they've been filling out all season. So you get more plant for your dollar. They aren't at a discount. They're regular price what they've been all season, but they're bigger because they've been growing all season. So it's just a great time. They transfer into the ground with less transplant shock because the ground is warm. The days are cool. The nights especially are cool. That wind that just whips through stuff. Spring is like a windy time when that's not good, especially as you have this brand new growth that comes out. It's harder on plants. Well, the foliage is mature now, and that crazy nonstop wind of spring is kind of, it can be blustery, but that prevailing southwest wind, that's not there like it is now. So they root out faster, they adapt easier. So it's just a good time to be planting for plants, especially bigger, let's say spruce or pine or firs or cypress junipers. These big, you need a privacy hedge. Whew, now's the time. This is your peak, kind of your ideal time to be planting those. Now, if you're planting, now I encourage it, obviously, but if you plant now, you're going to need to take care of it through the winter. And so it's not like you can just put it in the ground, water it once, and you're done till next spring. And that is going to fail miserably for you. It's not going to be good, not going to be pretty. You're going to think, oh, I'm such a bad gardener. No, you're a bad waterer or carer for plants. If you just watered things throughout the winter, you would have been fine. And so that's the caveat. I notice the difference between, let's say, Midwest or Southern. They're saying fall is for planting. That's true because you put it in the ground, everything turns to ice. And you don't care for it. We don't do that here. I mean, first of all, who lives in that kind of climate? Here, it's so nice. It's January. It's still beautiful out. Well, plants are also still rooting at that point, and they're still using moisture. They don't have this permafrost. We keep growing. And so you'll get more growth next spring. So you're watering things. I would say water like you normally would through October, the next couple months. Then sometime in November, we start to throttle back. Oh, it's obviously transitioning with the end of autumn. And so then you can throttle back to maybe turn that irrigation back to once a week, once every 2 weeks. And so I'm already starting to adjust my irrigation backwards a little bit. And so I was at every 7 days for my trees and shrubs. Now I'm at every 8. I was kind of chicken. I should have gone every 8 or 9 or 10. I'll do that in a couple of weeks. My container gardens, I was at every day. Now I'm at every other day. The shrubs and flowers and kind of perennial flower stuff, I was out every 4 days, now every 5. So I'm just slowly backing it off. I'm not playing with the length of time. I'm just going longer in between the water cycles. And that's how you play with that. And so good time to be planting. Some of your best plants are now, because they're big and they're bold. Grasses, you cannot find an ornamental grass. They're some of the most beautiful, most luxurious plants rare. So many of them are natives. They're just like we've got a beautiful grama grass, and the grama is kind of freaky. The seed head doesn't go up and down, it goes horizontal. So it looks like the seed heads are hovering like little spaceships across this knee-high grass. It's really cool. You just don't see those in the fall of the year. You only see them now. And so I just got a whole load of maples. Beautiful 5-gallon autumn blaze kind of maples. They're cute as can be. They're nice, full, plump, juicy plants. You can go with a little bit smaller plant now because they are going to root and take off. They'll put 3-4 foot of growth on by putting them in the ground now. You'll get a lot more growth next spring by planting now. And you get the fall color. Hey, that's a win. That's a trifecta. That's a win-win-win all the way around. Anyway, that's lots of good things going on in the gardens. And then, of course, your fall perennials and your fall annuals like pansies and violas and snapdragons, your fall vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower and spinach and lettuce. These are all things that would not appreciate being planted a month ago, but they love to be planted right now because a month ago it was still kind of warm. The nights were warm. Now it can be, okay, yes, it bumps up it flirts with 90, but then it comes right back down. So it cools. It's not so much how warm it is during the day. It's in the evening. Can you sleep with the windows open? Because if you can, your plants can. And they just go, oh, this is so nice out here. I just love it. And they grow like crazy. And so you got easily a month, maybe a little longer before autumn color shows up. You can see a little tinge of things where the plants are stressed. That should be a concern for you. If your plants are turning color early, that is not good. So it's you got a problem. Come talk to us right away so we can correct that. But the rest of us, a healthy plant, it's out there in the yard. It's going to be another, sometime in October, things start going. And autumn kind of goes from October through the first part of December. That's kind of that peak window. If you're down to the lower elevations like Cottonwood, Camp Verde, Sedona, maybe it's a week, 10 days, a little bit later. But the higher elevation, Groom Creek, Highland Pines, Ash Fork, maybe it's 2 weeks ahead. But basically, we're all sort of in the same window. This higher elevation of the mountains of Arizona, it's going to be October, November is our true autumn season. As far as fall color goes, that's when the maples and the aspens and all those different robust colors, your nandinas start to get that tinge of red over top of them, that beautiful color. The mums just get more and more and more glorious as we get into. I'm going to pick my first pumpkins. So I'm going to take a pump. Okay, it's time. It's decoration season. My pumpkins are ready, at least a couple of them. I'm going to pick those, bring them up, and put a few mums around and do my autumn thing like I do every year. It's super fun. It's part of the joy of gardening is you get to harvest things, not just to eat, not just to cut, put in a vase, but to actually decorate the front door, kind of accessorize your patios, your decks. And pumpkins are a good one. Echinaceas are a good one. Sunflowers are a good one. There's certain things that I do that I plant earlier just for this season. It's kind of a weird thing. But if you're a decorator, gardener, artistry at all, creative at all, you see the joy in that. And I think you have to have a creative kind of vibe to you to be able to garden. You just have this, or at least this great expectation. You're putting a small tomato plant in the ground and you fully expect it to have tomatoes covering this beautiful head-high plant. And you just see that gets you giddy inside. You kind of go, you can just feel the childlike spirit comes alive when you're gardening. That comes alive when I pick my first pumpkin and I go out and I put it by the front, put it on that front chase lounge and kind of go, there's a pumpkin. It's right there. And here's some echinaceas to go with it, some marigolds. And when I pull my tomatillos out, I'm going to put some broccoli in so I can harvest that for Christmas dinner. That is that childlike innocence, not innocence, just excitement that happens with gardening. That's one of the joys. Water's garden companion plants for September are pampas grass, honeysuckle, raywood ash, and lacy blue Russian sage.
Lacy blue Russian sage is a Water's preferred perennial for its compact form that doesn't flop over in the landscape like others.
The spiky blue flowers bloom summer through fall with aromatic foliage detestable to all animals.
Simply stunning at the edge of dry stream beds mixed with wildflowers.
Shop in-store or online at watersgardencenter.com. For a more fruitful garden, increase success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit watersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Waters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.